When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We love spending this time with you. Thank you for listening. If you would like to take your listening experience to the next level, did you know there's a way to do that, Jabo?
I do.
Yep, you know how you do it. You go to thetjshow.com, you sign up for the TJ Show newsletter, and you get cool things dropped right into your inbox, like the TJ Show's 10 shares. We pick 10 different things, everyone on the team does it, that we think you're going to love. It's not just about our show. This is about like stuff, music we're listening to, whatever it may be.
Life stuff.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot more in there. Sign up at thetjshow.com. This is the TJ Show. So excited to welcome Jim in Rutland, Vermont. Hey, Jim, is that really you?
It's me. You got me.
Hi, Jim.
Hey, you are in one of my favorite places on the planet. I lived in Boston for a lot of years, and my wife would find every excuse to get to Vermont. It is so gorgeous. How do you handle the beauty every single day? I mean, I'm assuming that's why you live there.
It's tough. It's tough, but we manage. We do manage.
You sacrifice, huh?
So, Jim, let me ask you, what drew you into calling our show? Because it's a brave move when we give out a phone number. Why did you pick up the phone and trust us enough to call?
What made me call you is I had to call and clarify something. My wife is the boss, period.
Boom! Told you!
Oh, man.
Okay? A happy wife is a happy life.
Okay, let me explain, Jim. So Kenny accused me of having a Freudian slip because I was saying that my wife bought a bag of chips, and I said, I can even play it back just so we can remind everyone of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Bring me some, please.
Oh, I will. We have 3 bags. My wife bought 3 bags of it. Yeah, so he's claiming that I think my wife is the boss, and you're saying your wife is the boss.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes, I'm just along for the ride.
Jim,
Jim is the passenger prince in the life. That's what it is.
See, I don't settle for that. I really believe that my wife and I are equal in running our household. And we talk about things and we go through. And now if she wants something and I don't, I tend to concede and I'll go ahead and more often than not give her what she wants. Because I agree with you. Happy wife, happy life. And I love my wife so much. I love the opportunity to serve whatever it is that she needs. I mean, do you feel the same way, Jim?
Oh, absolutely. But we'll have a discussion. I want to paint the room green. She wants to paint the room blue. We have a discussion. We paint the room blue.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I started to annoy my wife because her family would ask me about something over the weekend, and I go, "Oh, well, we're doing whatever Jess wants," and they'd be like, "Do you just do whatever Jess wants?" And I'm like, "Well, genuinely, I want to mostly do whatever Jess wants, not because she's the boss, but because I love her so much and she enhances my life so much. How could I not say yes to the room blue, right, Jim?"
Exactly. There's really no choice in the matter. Yeah.
Jim, you're really in love with your wife. Is that what I'm gathering?
Absolutely. Met her in high school, and here we are in 2024.
Wow.
So, yes, absolutely.
Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think is the reason why you guys have such a healthy marriage?
Because his wife is the boss.
Well, no.
He
just told you.
No, but is there something that comes to mind where you're like, this is the centerpiece of why things work so well?
I think it's communication. That's the big thing. We talk about things. I mean, I joke that she's the boss, and she kind of is. But we talk about things, we make decisions together. But when it comes to what toppings to get on the pizza, what movie are we going to go and see, whatever you want, dear. I mean, she's the boss. But,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. No, and I want, when I make a bowl of oatmeal for my wife and me, I look at which one's better and I give it to Jess.
Yeah,
because
I do the same thing.
I want to make those decisions because she really, my life is completely different because of her, and I just want to continue to honor her day in and day out. And Jim, keep loving your wife well because you are inspiring, my friend.
Your boss.
She is awesome, and I would be lost without her.
Jim, I hope you get Employee of the Year this year. I hope your boss sees that in you.
I got to tell you guys are doing a great job, and I'm really enjoying listening to your show. So thanks for brightening up my day and
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
So excellent. Well, Jim, I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you for taking the time to call. And you call us anytime. You're a friend of the show.
Take care, Jim.
I absolutely will. Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
later. Shasta in Medford, Oregon. Is that you?
Yep.
Shasta, you work or do you own a nail salon?
I'm an independent contractor, so I lease a station out of a salon.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
girl, get it.
Yeah, I didn't know about that inner behind-the-scenes stuff. Like when you go to some of these nail salons or hair salons, sometimes they're renting a space at a salon. It's almost like
Right.
a little real estate area for you to clip people's nails.
Yep, pretty much.
She does more than clipping nails, TJ.
Well, no, I'm sure. You know what I always am impressed with? That you can clip nails and you're doing it from your perspective, not my own. Like I know how to clip my own nails. But when my kids ask me to clip their nails, I have to kind of flip them around so it's like my hand. And you probably don't need to do that, right? Like you're not cuddling them and clipping them now.
You're not sitting on your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't. I don't have to do that.
Yeah,
Pay
that's
extra for that.
Can you? Is there any use for fingernails once they're gone? Because I've been throwing them out my whole life.
Yeah, just throw them away.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
No, I don't know. I mean,
It's
you're
like
saying.
people who collect teeth. It's just a weird thing.
Got it. Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure. I found out that my coffee grinds were actually very valuable. They repel mosquitoes, and so I've started
yeah, I saw
saving them.
that.
Yeah, and meanwhile I've been throwing them out all these years. I just thought I'd ask.
And I have heard that you can take hair and pot it into your soil.
Is that true?
Your plants, and it helps the plant grow.
Look at that.
So maybe
See?
nails could do the same thing.
Well,
That's a good question.
Glad I asked. Just
Yeah.
bringing it up. Somebody will figure it out somewhere. Hey, Shasta, thank you so much for listening to our show.
Yeah, no problem. You guys just took over one of our radio stations, and actually the music is so much better now.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Well, that's really good news.
Yeah.
Please tell your friends that, we're always so honored. I don't know if you listen in the nail salon, but that's always such a great honor because you've got so many people coming in and out, and we thank you so much for that.
Yeah, our local station, actually, we do a lot of advertisement on this same station. So it's funny because I listen to you guys and then I hear tons of our commercials.
Oh, great.
Nice.
So tell me the name of the nail salon, if this is helpful to you, okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. Tell me the name of the nail salon so the next time that I'm driving through Medford, Oregon, I can come in and be like, yo, it's me. And it might be awkward.
If you had your kids, even better, because we are the Beauty Mart Glitter Bar. We legit have this big area that's tons of different kinds of glitters for nail techs, people who do crafts to come buy in smaller portions so they don't have to buy in bulk. And then they can mix up their own kind of glitters if they want.
Right. Yeah. Mixing up glitters and arts and crafts with glitter makes me nauseous, but I understand
TJ's
that
daughters would love that.
my kids like glitter and I understand the draw of it. So what's the name of the salon and how do we find you if we are flying through Medford, Oregon, and I want to parachute out and visit you?
Yeah, we are the Beauty Mart Glitter Bar, and we are actually at 331 Crater Lake Avenue.
Great.
So it's actually a main drag, and it's this cute little house, and inside it's all different hues of pinks and glitters, and
Nice.
yep, it's perfect.
That's cute.
You have any trap doors?
No, but my boyfriend does insulation, so I made him go up into our attic to see if we had adequate insulation, right? Because that helps with heating and whatever.
Right.
And there was actually a makeshift room up in the attic.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Never.
You never know when you move into a random house or it's a house, in the 17th century or whatever, and then you're in it with a nail salon now and today. You don't know what they were doing behind the walls, and it's always so cool to figure that out. I want to install a trap door in my house. My wife won't let me do it. I'm so upset about it. I want it to be under the carpet.
That would be epic.
Yeah, when the kids are screaming, I just disappear.
That's why she won't let you do it. She's like, nope.
Hey, Shasta, thank you for the call. You have a great day. And you're a friend of the show now, so you call anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right,
you
bye-bye.
take care.
See you.
Bye.
I was catching up with J-Bo yesterday, and can you remind me of that story you told earlier in the week where there was just this it was almost a fight at the grocery store.
Oh, yeah. It was
And-
definitely a fight.
The reason I want you to bring this up is because I'm noticing that there seems to be this fog of impatience just in the air. Everywhere you go, people are losing their patience. They're things are not moving fast enough for them.
Yeah.
Or they're annoyed because you're walking too slow on the sidewalk. And maybe it's just where we are. But it seems like these stories are popping up constantly. I just had a story at the grocery store. Now you were at the grocery store.
So I went to the grocery store, I picked up a couple items, and I'm walking past the self-checkout line, which is always long because people want to do their own thing. I get it. And I have no problem clearing the aisle and walking past this guy who happens to kind of be sort of in the way. But I didn't think anything of it. But the guy behind me who has a shopping cart, he couldn't get through. And the guy told him, the guy standing in line, "Excuse me." Now, the first time the guy with the shopping cart said this, the guy didn't hear him because he had the headphones in.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I'm not the biggest fan of someone who wears that in public because for me, I like to keep my head on the swivel. I want to know what's going on and be aware of my surroundings. The world's a little crazy sometimes. So finally, the guy says, "Excuse me."
He gets louder.
He gets louder. And the guy with the headphones takes his earbuds out. He looks over his shoulder and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say?" And the guy yells for the third time, "I said, excuse me, you're in the way." And it just got so crazy where I had to walk away. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be a part of this. And the guy standing in line was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." He started walking away to go to the self-checkout, check himself out. The guy pushing the cart is still going at this guy.
Yelling at him in the store.
Yelling at him in the store, attacking, his character and telling him things like, "If you say anything back to me, I'll punch you in the mouth." And it was just insane.
It almost doesn't seem like reality.
It doesn't. I'm like, am I in a movie? And everyone just stopped everything that they were doing and they just started looking around, but no one said anything.
Yeah, you expect like Murr from Impractical Jokers to pop out of the aisle. Just got you.
Right, just
You're on the show.
Yeah.
No, but this is the reality. And also there was something that happened to me that I shared. I was talking to this old guy at the grocery store because old people love to talk at the grocery store.
And you love to talk at the grocery store.
Yes, I was talking about the deal on the apples, and this guy's cart is blocking a lane. Someone walks into his cart. Like he could have gone around
intentionally.
Walks into it. I don't know if he wasn't paying attention or what, but he was so angry that the cart was there, he took his handbasket and swung it like a baseball bat into this guy's cart and said, "Watch where you're putting your cart." And it was just this level of anger
that was definitely intentional.
It didn't add up to the situation. Like it did not make sense.
Yep.
And this guy just started staring him down and I'm like, oh my goodness, these two are going to brawl. And what am I going to do? Like this is an old guy. Am I going to have to like take a hit for this guy? And the answer is no, I'm not going to.
Right.
I mean, these two got their thing going on. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But he stared him down and then he came back to me and he goes, "Well, guess I was in the way." And then he kept talking and I was like, wow, there's such a lack of grace and I wonder why. And so these stories and many others have inspired us to do a little bit of research and put a list together of how can we increase our patience? And I'm talking to myself too, because there's certain things that can set me off where I get impatient too. I mean, thankfully not to that level.
If I have the slightest inconvenience sometimes, I have to catch myself because I will get very, very impatient.
Well, I've got a list here, J-Bo. Okay, so I'm going to read through this in a few moments. I think there's actually hope. We can go in reverse. I think we're so addicted to convenience. Yep. Again, me too.
And us living in a microwavable society where everything happens right away, that if we have to wait, we get upset.
Yeah, we expect everything to just be immediate. So in a few moments, we're going to read this list. How do we increase our patience? It's coming up on the TJ Show.
Hi, everybody. This is Adriana Trajani. I'm the host of You Are What You Read, a podcast about the books that built our souls. I have the privilege of interviewing luminaries of our times about the books that shaped them from childhood until now. Don't miss it. We get everybody from Sarah Jessica Parker to Kristen Hanna to Jhumpa Lahiri, Susie Essman, Rainn Wilson, Amor Tolls. You name it, they come, they talk, they share. You can join us on Instagram for more behind-the-scenes content and giveaways at You Are What You Read podcast and at Adriana Trajani. New episodes of You Are What You Read drop every Tuesday on Apple, Spotify, or any major streaming platform wherever you listen to your podcasts.
I'm Erica, 1/3 of the podcast Books and Betches, a comedy book podcast where we swear, spoil, and we talk about...
Whoa, you cannot say that in this.
What do you mean? That's like our slogan. It's our gimmick.
It is, but just say we're a very funny adult book podcast. How about we just give some examples of things we talk about?
Well, there's a lot of chaos. I'm Kristen, and with me I have... No.
We talk about books, but we're not your AP Lit class.
I definitely hit on the major points.
You absolutely did not.
She did.
You talked
just
about...
not in the order you thought she would.
You talked so slowly about one thing.
A lot of sidebar conversations.
Are you denying the existence of chupacabras?
You know, Erica, yes, I am.
And we don't always get the facts right.
Epilogues don't belong in books. Dude, call it chapter 1.
That's a
the
prologue.
The second I see...
That's a prologue.
Oh, I'm talking about prologue.
You can listen to new episodes of the Books and Betches podcast every Tuesday morning, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bye-bye.
This is the TJ Show. A few moments ago, J-Bo and I were sharing some stories. Both happened to us within a week's span.
Yeah.
People losing their patience over stuff that it just doesn't really seem to make sense.
Both happened at the grocery store.
Yes. Yeah, well, I guess some people are hangry shopping, right?
Maybe.
You know, we've all been there. And listen, and we're in the same boat. I mean, I think technology has gotten so fast that our expectations is everything has to move 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
And unless we are intentionally reversing that in our brains, we can fall into that trap too. I've been there. J-Bo's been there. You were just talking about that.
Definitely done that.
So we compiled a list, and this is from a bunch of experts saying, how do we increase our patience again? Are you willing to try any of this stuff, J-Bo?
I'm willing to try. Yeah.
Okay, first on the list, gardening. Start a small garden.
I'll just repot my plants.
But hold on, here's why. The reason, gardening is a fun activity that requires you to nurture plants over time. There's no fast forward button, helping you develop patience as you watch your plants grow and flourish. And I will say, I've never been a gardener until fairly recently. I started just throwing some seeds on the ground. I wanted to see what would happen, and stuff popped up. I'm like, whoa, this is how this works? This is amazing.
The conversations I have with the plants that I have in my home now that are not growing, the conversation goes like this: why aren't you growing?
Yeah, you're even impatient with the plants.
Grow.
You want an eye plant.
I do. Fast.
Next on the list, how do we increase our patience? Crafting. Taking up a craft like knitting, crocheting, or painting. These activities can be very absorbing and require a steady, patient hand.
Things that take time.
It's kind of like going to the gym for our patience. Exercise. Speaking of going to the gym, join a class, hold poses, focus on your breathing. All this can improve our physical and mental patience. Photography. That's an interesting one. We've all got a camera in our pocket.
Okay.
Have we used that? Have we really used it to our full potential? We can do a lot of cool things with these cameras. Try your hand at photography, focusing particularly on wildlife or scenic photography, which often requires us to wait patiently for the perfect shot. You want to get that stray kitty eating a French fry? You got to hang out for a little while.
Yeah.
There's no way to get him to do it. Learning a musical instrument. Ooh, I know this one well. Let me tell you something. I'm borderline
This is supposed to help you establish patience?
because you're forcing yourself. There's no fast way to do this. Like learning an instrument, I've tried to speed up the process. There's no way to speed up the process. I've been trying hard for 4 years.
I don't know. This list is a miss so far for me.
Well, it requires patience. Reading long books, picking up a long, epic novel, and just forcing yourself to sit there and read. I know, J-Bo, this goes against what the world is looking like for the most part today. Volunteering. Engaging in volunteer work, especially in roles that require slow and steady effort, like tutoring children or restoring community parks. Shift your perspective. Viewing challenges as opportunities to learn and reflect, not just obstacles. So when something weird happens at the grocery store, how could this benefit me? What can I do here to grow?
I could have asked the cashier for a discount since I was so inconvenienced by the loud noise, for sure.
Sure, there's that. That would have made you happy. Accepting what we can't control, focusing on what we can influence and release what's beyond our control will help us alleviate that stress.
Okay.
And being kind to yourself. It's pretty simple. Understanding that impatience is normal. Practice self-compassion and avoid harsh self-criticism. Because you know what? We're all going to stumble with impatience. Develop a meditation practice of some kind. What does that mean? Even if it's a short walk out in the woods.
Or just breathing.
It's like
or just
clearing
chilling.
our minds.
Yeah.
Ensure sufficient sleep. This is a big one. You know, a big reason why a lot of us are impatient and annoyed and angry. We just got to go to bed.
I know. If I'm hungry, hangry, or sleepy, it's a problem.
So there's a list. Do you think we can try at least one of these, J-Bo?
Sleep. I like sleep.
All right, let's go to bed separately. I think it's really strange that Kenny did this to me.
Did what to you, TJ?
What is your problem?
Well, dude, you did something to me, man.
Why are you guys always beefing? And then you do it on the radio.
No, I'm not beefing. He's the one who brought this in.
You sound like Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Chill out.
No, I just said on the show yesterday that J-Bo has gotten me addicted to everything bagels again. I can't stop eating them.
Yeah.
And the place that we like to go to always sells out. And so I called in a favor. I happen to have the barista's phone number because she comes on our show from time to time. And I said, hey, I'm sorry if this is inappropriate, but could you put aside a bagel for producer Heather and me? And she said, yeah, no problem. It was no big deal. And Kenny goes and calls her on his own time to try to make it seem like I was wrong in doing that. She was totally fine. You were there yesterday, J-Bo.
I mean, she was fine with it. I think it could become a problem if you keep going back to the same well.
I did it one time, people.
Don't do it again.
Guys, no.
Twice.
No. Well, why? Because of Heather?
No, you did it for J-Bo.
I did do it for that was a friend.
And then you did it again.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've expanded to 2 bagels. But also this text that you sent our favorite barista, Elsa, was part of a group chat that the 3 of us had. So I'm included in this text.
You included him in the group text?
That was just laziness on my part because we had been on a group text with her for something else.
Yes, I didn't want her to think that I was the one asking.
He got you involved.
That's not my MO.
You got him involved.
Well, so now he calls her, and now we have the phone call to play.
Hello.
That's Elsa.
Elsa, I just want to apologize and make very clear that I had nothing to do with the bagel request that was made today, even though...
This is so wormy.
I happen to be on that text.
Kenny, you have nothing to apologize for. I absolve you of whatever guilt you have been carrying, and it's also totally fine to request a bagel.
See, that's a logical person.
I don't know. I feel like he's taking advantage of your friendliness and our position as a radio show podcast.
What is our position, by the way?
Well, I mean, some people like to do things for people in the media.
Not for us.
Well,
not us.
What has been done for you since we're in the media?
Well, you got me into a Harry Potter trivia night.
Okay,
which I appreciate.
Almost doesn't count.
Bagels?
Honestly, we called. Let me just recap the story about me getting a bagel. We called Elsa to see if there were any bagels because I was planning going in to get a bagel. She said no, but next time you come in, I will save you one. So she kind of offered that bagel to me the first time.
And also, I surprised you, J-Bo.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can tell you it's not because of the podcast.
Yeah, yet again, very logical.
Yeah.
You're not conceding to TJ's request because he's a powerful celebrity.
Since when did I become a powerful celebrity? Right? I've never been a powerful celebrity.
You've been on the radio for 20 years.
With all due respect, no.
Okay.
I don't feel disrespected, I'm telling you.
Hey,
yeah.
TYB, that's your boy.
It's not because of the podcast. It's because of our camaraderie and our rapport. I think it says more about you than about the situation.
Someone's gone to counseling.
Always more.
Someone needs counseling.
Kenneth. Oh, yeah. No,
I don't know who's who.
I bet Elsa knows about BetterHelp. Let me tell you.
I don't know.
All right, so Kenny, everything's okay, all right?
I don't know. I think you're the stray cat that's been fed. You're just going to keep on coming back and taking advantage of this poor girl.
Just say it, Kenny. You wanted everything bagel, and TJ didn't include you in that.
I don't even like their bagels, to be honest with you.
Why you lie? That is a lie. Oh, my goodness.
I've had their bagel once. They have much better stuff on the menu.
That is
in my opinion.
lie.
That is rude.
Oh, he's
upset. For all they do for us, that's unbelievable.
Someone's salty.
How dare you? Oh, what a day to celebrate. National School Nurse Day. I love our school nurses. I was thinking about, I don't remember her name, but there was one that I had in middle school. And it was one of the first compliments I ever got from a person that wasn't my mom. I would have a problem where I would get eyelashes stuck in my eyes. And I'd get sent to the nurse's office, and I said, I got an eyelash in my eye. And she goes, oh, it's because you have such beautiful eyelashes.
You do have very beautiful eyelashes. I've noticed that.
Wow, thank you, J-Bo.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well,
not to make it feel uncomfortable, but...
This was the first time I ever found that out. And I was like, well, I wish the rest of me would look good, too. But
No,
if all I have is the eyelashes, fine. We'll start there. And it meant a lot to me. It actually boosted my confidence a little bit. I was like, oh, I didn't know I had nice eyelashes.
You have nice long eyelashes.
And then when I got into the next layer of school, I had this nurse that I found to be very attractive. And I know that should not come into the story. But Mrs. Kaysen, I was a big fan.
You remember her name now,
Yes, I did remember.
Okay.
She was very nice to me. And like one of the sweetest people. Like anytime I went in or I cut myself or like I was on the verge of tears because of something, she would always be so sweet to me. And I was like, that probably required some effort to not laugh.
TJ would purposely hurt himself just to visit Mrs. Kaysen.
No, I didn't. I did throw myself off the tire swing. No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't. No, she was wonderful and just so gentle and kind. And from what I've heard, I think nurses, so if you're a school nurse, you are a nurse. It's not like
legit.
Discount nurse. It's like you got to go through all the same training. And I also think sometimes they take pay cuts to be in
Which
the
is
school.
so wild to me. I would never think that. I feel like they should be paid more because of all the things they got to deal with.
Camera guy Josh used to be in the school system. Is that true or is that just something I made up?
No, that's true. And they are amazing medical professionals, professional in every sense of the word, just as trained to go through the same school and clinicals and all that stuff. And and they are amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. Do you have any school nurse memories or anyone that stood out to you?
I remember Mrs. King. I would go to her whenever I was sick, and she would tell me like, lay down, or she'd give me something or give me like a snack. And when I got older and I got into high school and I started driving, me and her daughter became really good friends. Oh, yeah. And I would pick her daughter up, and Mrs. King would walk out, hey, how
that's
you
so
doing?
sweet.
I'm like, hi, Mrs. King. I feel like I went back to like this 7-year-old back in elementary,
I have weird memories with school nurses. I think they were tainted because of an issue I had in high school where there was a drug-free program that my parents signed me up for that involved random drug testing.
What?
Sounds like the military.
How did that happen?
So they had this Stantol program. If the parents wanted to, when the freshmen enrolled, they could be signed up for this, and you'd get tested randomly throughout the school year. And my senior year, I happened to fail one of those tests.
You did?
For marijuana, yeah.
Shocker.
The nurse was the one who would, pull you out of class and collect your
Was
specimen.
she mean to you?
No, she was lovely.
Aww,
Wait,
that's
so
so good.
what happens? Does everyone find out in the school or what?
So the way the Stantol program was advertised is that it was supposed to remain completely confidential. That was not what happened. Everybody knew. It was actually the first day of baseball season, senior year. My coach found out and benched me.
Who told who?
I think,
You did.
Were you running your mouth?
I didn't run my mouth.
Yeah,
but
I
the
bet
thing
you
is,
did.
if you got pulled out of class...
Oh, they knew.
They knew you were going to get tested. If you didn't return quickly, then I think the
Oh,
assumptions...
so it kind of tells on you.
Yeah, and then in high school, the rumor mill, everybody knew. I was very embarrassed.
Did the program work for you?
No, it didn't.
Loaded question. But the nurse was nice.
The nurse, she was nice about it.
Yeah, okay, great. So we're honoring our school nurses, and good job catching Kenny, right? I mean, that's true.
You got me.
Ever notice that how you feel affects your food choices, and that what you eat affects how you feel throughout the day? Well, researchers noticed it too, and now there's cutting-edge science about how food affects our emotional well-being. I'm food and science journalist Mary Beth Albright, and in my weekly podcast, Eat, You'll Feel Better, I look at practical, realistic ways to put the science of eating for emotional well-being into action. And, this is important, without lapsing into negative diet culture messages that can really ruin anyone's emotional well-being. We talk about things like how the food in your gut sends messages directly to your brain. And we also celebrate something that I personally find often missing from food health news, and that's leaning into pleasure. Because food is delicious, and it's not just about what we eat. Emotional well-being is also about how we eat. So join me every week on Eat, You'll Feel Better, where we use science to improve mood through food.
This is the TJ Show, or news that sounds different around here. Kenny reads through every story he can find, and then he brings us the most interesting ones. Kenny, what's happening on the planet today?
There's still headlines coming out of the Met Gala, which happened on Monday evening. Of course, most of the headlines have to do with the fashion choices of the celebrities in attendance, but we're learning now how a lot of these photos that are going viral weren't even real. They were AI generated.
Oh, yeah, that adds up.
Yeah.
So what are people doing? Like typing in prompts and having them wear ridiculous things or something?
The Met Gala, you could argue that all the outfits that are worn there are ridiculous to some degree.
It's almost like a costume party.
To me, the photos that were posted were actually realistic to some degree. But the fact of the matter is, these viral photos, especially of Katy Perry and Rihanna, they didn't even attend the Met Gala this year.
They look pretty good, too.
Well, yeah, but these AI-generated photos are so good. You see it, and you're like, oh, that's a person.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, so one with Katy Perry had 300,000 likes, 13 million views. The caption read, "Katy Perry, that's it." Showed the star in this stunning long floral dress. However, the commenters were quick to add a community note to explain that the image was created with AI and featured the Met Gala stairs from 2018. So staircase arrangement that was 6 years old.
I think even Katy Perry posted and was like, I wasn't there. Like, I was working on music. I'm not there.
Look at how confusing everything's getting.
Yeah, Katy did post, in fact, saying, I had to work, and she even shared screenshots with her mom because her mom was like, I thought you said you weren't going to the Met Gala.
The drama it's creating.
And Katy posted
You know what's interesting, though? many people will never know that she wasn't there. They saw it once, and now they think she was there.
Yeah.
Sounds small, right? Who cares, Katie, whether she goes to the Met Gala or not? What about with now the political race coming up and things that really matter in our world? People are going to see something once, and it doesn't matter if they correct it after the fact. It's out there.
Yeah, Katie texted to her mom, LOL, Mom, AI got you to beware. And to your point, TJ, one X user posted just to comment about all of this. The AI-generated fake photos from the Met Gala are a low-stakes prelude for what's going to happen between now and the elections.
There it is.
But one interesting thing to note, at least on X, it was the users of X that prompted the community notes that were posted to alert users that these indeed were AI-generated images.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Get
Kenny,
some popcorn, too, if you're hungry.
What else do you have? I have some in my car, actually. 2 bags.
I love popcorn.
I pop it open sometimes while I'm driving.
I wonder how you feel about this. If you're having a baby as a father, TJ, is it more important to be at your work or to be with your wife and family?
Oh, you got to be there for your family.
Well, Gilbert Arenas, former NBA All-Star, disagrees. If you missed this, the Minnesota Timberwolves defensive star Rudy Gobert missed his team's 106-80 Game 2 victory over the defending champion Denver Nuggets because his wife gave birth to their baby boy. Gilbert Arenas has an internet show where he criticized this move, saying he should have been there for his team.
Huh.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Did the team win or lose without him?
They won convincingly, 106-80.
But even if they lost, I mean, it does take not one person, it takes the entire team. And I do believe personally that your family comes first before your career, before your job.
Yeah, absolutely. And a team has to be bigger than one person.
Yes. Sure.
Which clearly in this case, that's the case.
Now, Rudy Gobert is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, so he is a very important part of this team, but I guess they did not need him for Game 2. Arenas on his show said, "It's a baby, bro. It's going to be there when you get back, we hope. I'm just saying, the baby, whatever you think you about to do, he's going to be asleep."
I'm also assuming that the Timberwolves obviously knew that Rudy Gobert's wife was pregnant, was expecting a child. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they did the math on when things were going to line up, and they were able to work out a system so where he would not be missed in their place.
Yeah, and they did.
And management didn't have a problem. Why does this player have a problem? Mind your business. Take care of your family.
You know what? You get these radio show people, podcast people. Everyone's just giving their...
He used to be an ex-NBA player. Now he feels like he can speak on something that doesn't pertain to him.
Yeah, and also people just love to generate these hot takes.
Yeah.
Who knows what he really feels? Is he looking for views, or does he really feel that way?
Well, I don't know. He went on to say, "I get you want to be with your wife and smile and stuff, and your good NBA healthcare insurance. It's because of you playing." He later posted this clip on X with the caption, "Rudy missing playoff games for ... a baby," and then a bunch of crying face laughing emojis.
Yeah, so he's got everyone looking at him. There you go. He got what he wanted.
Congratulations. Yay.
I mean, I disagree with that, but I'm glad that he did the right thing.
Yeah, Gobert did, and I'm sure he'll be back for Game 3, which is Friday night in Minnesota.
Kenny, what else do you have?
Bloomberg News recently did a story about the business of stand-up comedy, asking several comedians how it's changed in the last 10 years. And according to a recent study, stand-up comedy ticket sales have tripled in the last decade.
Do you get the feeling people need to laugh?
That's what I'm thinking.
Desperate for something that's not so serious? I mean, aren't all of us?
Yeah, I love stand-up comedy. I've loved it ever since I was a little boy.
I also wonder if it's becoming a bit more mainstream with all these like Netflix comedy series and specials, and Hulu has theirs and HBO has theirs. And so people are like, oh, I'm watching it on stream. I can go check them out now that they're in my city.
Yeah, it could be that. There's also, historically, when you look at really tough times in our nation, or in the world for that matter, the thoughts that people have that maybe they're not saying, it sort of comes out sideways through comedy.
Yeah.
And there's this release in that space. And obviously we're in a really tough time. So it's interesting that there's this incredible resurgence of interest there.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. In 2012, ticket sales were $371.4 million. In 2023, $909.6 million.
Wow.
And
does that count for inflation, though?
I'm sure there's some inflation to be considered there, but how about this? It's grown quite a bit even in just the last year. In 2022, it was $62.8 million, then jumping in 1 year to $909.6. So there are a lot of people, J-Bo, to your point earlier, comedian Bert Kreischer, who was interviewed in this article, credits the internet for transforming stand-up comedy into this big business that it's in now. And Bert Kreischer is the second highest grossing stand-up comedian for 2023, behind only Kevin Hart.
I'll have to check out his stuff.
Good for him.
He's the guy who takes his shirt off by the end of the show, his shirt will be off. That's the machine Bert Kreischer for you.
Maybe I'll watch the Kevin Hart special instead. Kenny, what else do you have?
What's the most you'd be willing to pay for a pineapple?
Probably $4.
Multiply that by 100?
Is there a $400 pineapple somewhere?
There is. The Ruby Glow pineapple.
What is that?
I'll tell you where it's not. In my house.
It's a pinkish red hybrid fruit that was developed by Fresh Del Monte, and it costs $400.
Why? What's in it?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty much a regular pineapple, except it looks differently. Apparently, after 15 years of research using crossbreeding techniques to combine a conventional pineapple with a dark red purple pineapple that's predominantly found in Venezuela and Colombia. So this fruit has a red outer skin and a classic yellow interior. The pineapple is individually packaged and sold without its spiky crown that's replaced by a beautiful box that unfolds almost like origami.
Does it taste sweeter?
That's what we need, J-Bo. A pineapple in a box.
That's hybrid. Is it sweeter or about the same?
From what I'm reading, I don't think the taste is any different than your standard pineapple. It's really just how it looks. And it's very rare. Apparently, there's a seed supply issue. They only produced so many per year, and it takes about 2 years for them to grow, hence the $400 price tag for the Ruby Glow.
I'm sure there's a market somewhere.
Yeah, I'd love to meet the people who are buying that and just say, hey, what's wrong with you?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, give me the 400.
Yeah, it launched in the
I'll
U.S.
do something better with it.
Just this week, so it's only been available in this country for this week, and it was available in China since January, and people were on a wait list to get their hands on this pineapple.
You can have it. Kenny, what else do you have?
A phys ed teacher suffered cardiac arrest in a recent student-teacher basketball game. The teacher, Mr. Catola, said, medically, I was gone.
Wow.
That was until two students quickly jumped from their seats in the bleachers to perform CPR and even used an AED, an automated external defibrillator, to restore his heartbeat.
Well, that's a miracle.
That is phenomenal. I'll tell you this. I lost my dad unexpectedly a couple weeks ago to cardiac arrest. And I know the situation is different for everybody. Sometimes when you're in that situation, you can be scared. You don't know what to do. So I'm surprised that these girls just jumped on it. They were part of that. I believe if somebody that was around my dad did the same thing, he probably could still be here today. But the outcome is what the outcome is. But I mean, I applaud them. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's another reminder because we get these emails from time to time. Oh, get CPR training. And it's so easy to just skip over it or think, oh, I don't have time for that, but it could save someone's life.
I mean, it's a gift for yourself. You have knowledge now of how to save someone's life, and the gift to your community and your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's amazing, too, is these two students, Israel DeBose and Corey Coleman, were juniors who just took the CPR training as part of their health science class.
That's great.
So they were pretty fresh. As a matter of fact, the school nurse, and happy School Nurses Day, who taught their health sciences class, said, I feel so proud that they not only learned the skill, but they felt confident in the skill to perform it in an emergency situation.
Yeah, that's an incredible story.
The girl said, we thought we might use it at some point in our lives, but not that soon. And of course, Mr. Catola, who got a chance to meet with the girls again and thank them in person, immensely grateful for their actions and is encouraging them to pursue medical careers.
You better give them A's.
That's right.
Let me tell you.
Baby.
Kenny, what else do you have?
A TikToker relayed a recent experience she had on an airplane that caused quite a stir, especially in the comments section. It was described as mile-high musical chairs, and it started with a father asking a man who was sitting in an aisle seat if he'd be willing to switch seats so he could sit next to his children, who apparently occupied the window and middle seat in that aisle.
So the stranger was sitting next to this guy's kids.
Yes, exactly.
I'd ask if anyone else wanted to sit there right from the beginning of the flight. Attention, if anyone wants to sit next to two kids that aren't theirs, please go ahead.
Well, the man who was sitting in that seat was bigger and older, according to the TikToker, and he even confirmed with the man, well, this is an aisle-to-aisle switch. You're right across. That's the aisle seat. That's your seat. And the man kind of took a suspicious pause, at least as the TikToker described it, and said, yeah, I'm in the aisle. So they make the switch, and next thing you know, another passenger comes up and says to the man, you're in my seat. Well, no, that guy just told me this was his seat. I switched so he could be next to his kids. And while that's all going on, the father's on his phone refusing to lift his head up.
Wow.
So did that guy get stuck in like a middle seat or something?
Exactly. The guy didn't make a fuss. He got up and begrudgingly worked his way over to the middle seat, and I guess was more uncomfortable than he expected to be for the duration of that flight.
I would have sat next to those kids and been like, they're more likely to behave, a stranger sitting next to them, than you, Dad. So go back to your middle seat. I'm sitting here.
I would have to ask, why aren't you all sitting together to begin with?
That's an issue, and it has been an issue for a long time within the airline industry.
But is it because it was booked last minute, because there's
That's
some
possible.
emergency?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just neglect on the part of the parent to not book it in time? Did you wait too long?
Yeah. Or, I mean, are you trying to get the cheapest possible ticket, and that's what you
Right.
did?
And then you're hoping that somebody's going to switch with you.
Yeah, so I think it matters what the reason is. Kenny, thank you for keeping us somewhat informed.
That's what's happening.
Lots of appreciation this week for those who are in our school systems across the nation. We were talking about how it's School Nurses Day today, but also this week is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Right.
And Jabo shared her teacher appreciation story, someone who you said saved your life.
She did.
If you missed that story, you could hear it on yesterday's podcast. Just go to thetjshow.com or search for The TJ Show in any major podcasting platform. I talked about Mr. Kennedy on Monday. That was my teacher story. Producer Heather, you're up today sharing teacher appreciation stories. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
I have a favorite teacher. I don't know if it's for the right reasons or not, but he was my history teacher my junior year. His name was Mr. Lotzi. He was also my soccer coach. I played soccer in high school. No big deal. Varsity letter my freshman year, whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, I get it. He would give extra credit to students who would go to games and stuff. And since I played soccer, I automatically had to go to every single game, and he would give me extra credit, and he gave me my first A+. And my only A+ that I ever had.
Well, that's nice. But I'm saying, were there any teachers that had an impact on your life where you can look back and be like, wow, this really changed my trajectory?
To be honest, no. Not really.
Why not?
I can't think of any like specific teacher that like went out of their way to help me. Not that they didn't do that for other students. I think just me, I just was kind of there. I was just like an average student. I never got into trouble. I wasn't exceptional in any way. I didn't need it, maybe?
Well, most of us have stories.
Or maybe I did need it and
about teachers. I think Jabo's story was strong enough that I can cover for you.
Yeah, right.
I mean, her life was rescued.
Miss Borgon did rescue my life.
Yeah. So, well, can you just give a little credit to her from that story?
Yeah, I don't mind giving Miss Borgon.
All right, great.
Some...
So just say Jabo's teacher.
Yeah, but I'm not blaming any teachers or anything like that. It was me. It wasn't them. It was me. I didn't.
It's not you. It's me.
Exactly. It was me.
You chose to blend in and not be exceptional.
I'm a born blender. Yeah.
Okay.
If anything, I'm sure teachers probably remember you, Heather, because you didn't cause any problems.
Maybe. Yeah.
They were like, man, that Heather girl, I never had any problems with her.
They didn't have to worry about me.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
think, for real, any teacher remembers you?
My freshman year math teacher, Mr. Gunkel, because he would kick
Gunkel.
me.
What a great name.
It was a pretty good name, but he kicked me out a lot for talking.
Okay.
Oh,
So he might remember me.
As an
but
experiment.
look at you now, Heather.
Yeah.
Could you find out if Mr. Gunkel remembers you? Could you reach out and find him somewhere?
He was rather old, so I don't know if he's
see if he's still around.
But
He's playing golf somewhere
I
now.
could try to find.
No, yeah.
But my history teacher might, Mr.
Yeah.
Lassie, just because he was my soccer coach as well.
Just see if anyone remembers you from that era. Okay.
Got it.
I think you're exceptional now. I don't know
think
if that
you
matters.
are too.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, camera guy Josh has an interesting take because you were in the school system. Do you have a teacher that stands out as someone who really had an impact on your life?
The first person who comes to my mind is Mr. Patterson. He was actually a co-teacher with me. So
when you were teaching.
Right. When I was teaching, he was a veteran teacher who had been teaching for, like 30 years. And your first year as a brand new teacher is just so hard. Like all teachers know the first year is just so hard and you just feel like you're drowning, and he pulled me out of it. He helped me so much become the teacher that I became.
So, and there he was, Mr. Patterson, helping to train up the next generation. So there's that side of teacher appreciation as well.
Yeah, there's an example of how he pulled you up. Josh?
Well, I think sometimes there's a stigma or you're just scared to ask for help as a new teacher because you think you know everything coming out of college. And he would actually come up, and I had a problem with classroom management, like managing behaviors in my class. He would take his planning every day, walk up into my room, sit in the back and watch me teach. And then we would sit together after school and he would tell me things that I could do better.
Oh, like a coach. I love that.
It's amazing.
That's so great.
So to all of our teachers, we appreciate you and happy Teacher Appreciation Week.